This story is simple, but the truth inside it is not. Someone on Pine Street is lying. Every voice you're about to hear, every decision that was made, leads to one person. Pay attention, because the answer isn't given to you. It's hidden. By the end of this story, you won't be asking what happened. You'll be asking, who did it? The full story is coming soon. You won't want to miss a single clue. Get ready to uncover the truth. Ethan Walker was alone, a night shift worker. Quiet, introverted, the kind of guy people barely notice. He moved through the world like a ghost, content in his own solitude. But on this particular night, his solitude was about to be shattered. At exactly 11:47 p.m., his phone rang. The number was blocked, but something compelled him to answer. A cold, calm voice spoke from the other end. A voice that was both unfamiliar and chillingly intimate. It said, "You should have locked the back door, Ethan." And just like that, the call disconnected. Silence flooded the room, heavier and more menacing than before. Ethan's heart hammered against his ribs. He turned, slowly, deliberately, his eyes fixing on the one thing he hadn't checked before settling in for the night. And there it was, his back door ajar, swinging gently in the faint breeze, a dark invitation to the unknown. The next morning, the quiet suburb of Pine Street woke up to the jarring wail of police sirens. Flashing blue and red lights painted the houses in a frantic, pulsating rhythm. Olivia Grant, just 24 years old, had been found dead in her basement. The initial report was baffling. There was no sign of forced entry. The doors were locked. The windows were secure. There were no signs of a struggle. Nothing overturned. Nothing out of place except for the life that had been stolen. Neighbors were questioned, but no one reported hearing any screams. No calls for help, just the usual quiet of the suburban night. The detectives on the scene knew this pattern all too well. It meant only one thing, the most terrifying conclusion of all. She knew her killer. She had let them in. Detective Aaron Blake took the case. He wasn't the type you see in movies. No flashy car or dramatic pronouncements. He was calm, experienced, a man who had seen the worst of humanity and hadn't let it break him. His strength was in his quiet observation, his ability to listen to what wasn't being said. He moved through the crime scene with a practiced, methodical grace, his eyes missing nothing. As he stood on the manicured lawn of Olivia's house, surrounded by nervous neighbors whispering behind their curtains, he made his first official statement to his team. Everyone on this street is a suspect. He believed that in a place this perfect, the ugliest secrets were often hidden in plain sight. The interviews began. Ethan Walker, still shaken from his late-night call, claimed he barely knew Olivia. He'd say hello if they passed on the street, but that was it. He kept to himself. He insisted, his eyes darting around nervously. Then there was Maya Collins, Olivia's supposed best friend. She painted a different picture, admitting that Olivia loved secrets, that she was always digging into other people's lives, perhaps a little too much. And finally, Lucas Reed, the ex-military man living across the street. His story was the strangest. He said Olivia watched him from her window, that he often felt her eyes on him. He seemed agitated, defensive. Each story, on its own, sounded normal enough. A shy neighbor, a gossipy friend, a wary veteran. Too normal. It was a carefully constructed facade, a series of half-truths designed to mislead, because every single one of them was hiding something. Later that night, the case took another turn. Maya, while helping Olivia's grieving parents sort through her belongings, found her phone. She managed to unlock it, her fingers trembling as she scrolled through recent files. There was one last voice note, recorded just hours before she died. Maya pressed play. Olivia's voice filled the room, strained and fearful. "If something happens to me," she whispered, "it's because I found out who he really is. He." A single, damning pronoun. No name, no explanation, just that one word hanging in the air. As the recording ended, a faint, almost inaudible whisper could be heard in the background audio. A ghost in the machine. It sounded like a warning. Don't open that door. Fear began to spread through Pine Street like a virus. That same night, Ethan received another call from the same blocked number. This time, The message was even more direct. "You're next." He panicked, his mind racing. Was the person who called him the same person who killed Olivia? Moments later, Lucas Reed stormed over to Ethan's house, his face a mask of fury. He was shaking, and on his arm were fresh, deep scratches, as if he'd been in a violent struggle. He accused Ethan of knowing more than he was letting on. Across the street, Maya watched them from her window, her expression unreadable, a silent observer to the chaos unfolding. And from his unmarked car parked down the block, Detective Blake watched them all, his gaze sharp and calculating, piecing together the puzzle one terrified reaction at a time. Detective Blake was a man who trusted facts, not feelings. It dug deeper, obtaining warrants to search the digital lives of his main suspects. What he discovered was that Olivia Grant wasn't just a nosy neighbor. She was a chronicler of secrets. She had been secretly recording her neighbors for months. Phone calls, private conversations through the walls. Even hushed confessions made in what they thought was the privacy of their own homes. She had an archive of their hidden lives. Blake's team found multiple recording devices hidden in her house. But according to her digital logs, one recorder was still missing. The most important one, the one that likely held the key to her murder. Late that night, long after the forensics team had packed up, Detective Blake stood alone in Olivia's basement. The air was cold, still carrying the echo of what had happened there. He wasn't looking for fingerprints or fibers. He was looking for a story. And he found it, tucked away behind a loose brick in the cellar wall. He found the missing recorder. He pressed the play button. Olivia's voice, clear and steady this time, filled the silence. "I trusted him," she said, because he was the one asking all the questions. A second voice joined hers, a voice Blake knew better than his own. It was his own voice, from an interview he'd conducted with her just days ago. "Just tell me everything, Olivia," his recorded self said, calm and reassuring. The recorder stopped. In the sudden silence, Blake's phone vibrated in his pocket. A text message from an unknown number. It contained only 2 words. "Case closed." He looked down at the phone, and a slow, knowing smile spread across his face. The lights in the basement flickered, and then went out. "Now, it's your turn. We've laid out all the pieces, but the final conclusion is up to you. Was the killer Ethan? The terrified victim who might have been faking his fear all along? Was it Lucas, the volatile ex-soldier with a violent past and fresh scratches? Was it Maya, Olivia's friend who seemed to have a disturbing obsession with killers? Or was it the detective himself, the man who knew too much and had the final word? Who do you think the killer is? Go to the comments section and tell us your theory. We'll be reading every single one. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more mysteries.